What's up, guys? Max here for Rev3 Games, and I'm with Adam Urbano, who's the senior producer for Injustice: Gods Among Us. Or, let's be real, it's Mortal Kombat with DC superheroes.
There's a little more than that, but...
What have you got go? Like, I was really impressed when I first saw this. It was at E3 when you first unveiled it, and you had like 9 superheroes, and you're like, well, we can make them punch each other, and you can use the environment to hurt each other. You're doing a lot more with that than this.
Yeah, since E3 we've sort of evolved, because we're now ready to ship soon. So we've got... The environment is a complete living entity that you can use. It falls apart around you. It gets completely destroyed. We've got a clash system where the banter happens between the characters, and you can wager meter. We've got tons of stuff that is sort of not only expanding, but completely changing what we did in Mortal Kombat.
Now, one of the things really impressive is you've got a very cinematic approach here.
Yep, so from day one, the goal was make this as film-like as possible. So even the menu system itself is designed to look like a Blu-ray movie. The modes are named after sort of things that people might recognize from a Blu-ray, like play movie is the way you start the story campaign. And the presentation is obviously designed to be as cinematic as possible. The visuals were designed to be movie-like, realistic, and pretty much all the modes were built that way.
Very cool. Now you mentioned banter. Is that sort of like randomly generated insults hurled at each other? Or?
I wish that would have been easier. So in terms of banter, it's literally character combinations that make sense actually have distinct dialogue that they talk to each other with. So you've got Joker, if 2 Jokers fight each other, one of the Jokers will say, "You look really handsome." And the other Joker will say, "You look good too." So there's thousands of those.
Oh wow, okay. That's pretty neat. Now, going through the single-player game, is it like you pick your character and then you play as them through the entire time?
No, so similar to Mortal Kombat, this story campaign lets you try out different characters. So each chapter is one character. You play through, learn how to master them, and then you're on to the next character.
Okay. And in addition to that, you've got the Star Labs. Tell us about the Star Labs.
Yeah, so Star Labs was a chance to go crazy in terms of single-player content. There's 240 missions, so 10 missions per character, and you can 3-star each mission, so there's different objectives that you can achieve, and it's just wacky gameplay. So it's things that train you how to play, and then the next mission might be something that is an asteroids clone, and the next mission might be a third-person type shooter. So all the missions sort of feel different. They're these huge events that extend the single-player experience a ton.
So what about multiplayer? What's going on with that kind of standard? Let people hit each other with the superheroes kind of thing?
We started there. That was a baseline. Yeah.
That's good for a fighting game. It's a good approach to take.
Yeah, we liked it.
Let people fight in the game.
So we added a few other modes where you can have superheroes hit each other and beyond the 1v1. So there's King of the Hill, where you can now bet and wager. So you can say, I think that the king is going to win, and he's going to win with 20% health. And if you do that, you'll gain a bunch of experience, because that's a very risky bet. And we have online training, so you can just play with your friends online and sort of practice with the lag, depending on your sort of connection. And we have a endurance mode.
One thing I think is really interesting, going back to talking about playing with your friends, you've got a quick reference guide. I thought that was really good. So like when you want to look at the moves that look cool, it brings up kind of the greatest hits.
Yeah. So the sort of thing that this game is about is showing everyone that you're better than your buddy. So you bring up the quick guide, and it just says, here's the 5 or 6 moves that you do that'll just make you look awesome. Because it's all about making you look awesome.
That's pretty good. And on top of that, you can also you showed us you can favorite moves basically.
Yeah. So on the full moves list, which is like 100 moves per character, you can go through and just tag the moves that you want to sort of remember, and those will show up on screen, so that you don't have to go back in the moves list or go to the internet. It's always there. Okay,
and that's pretty good for, I'd say, the more casual kind of couch players. But you're also really doing some kind of in-depth stuff for the more hardcore players.
Yeah. So it's on the right side of the moves list, you can see the frame data and all the sort of damage that each move does. So that if you want a theory craft, you can go to town and figure out start frames and total damage of each move and sort of put it all together.
That's pretty good. One thing I'm pretty excited about is you've got the Red Sun DLC.
It's the GameStop pre-order exclusive.
Sorry, my bad. What comes with that?
So you get, in addition to some skins, so you get these sort of communist-inspired versions of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Solomon Grundy. You also get 20 missions in the Stars Labs we talked about earlier that tell the story of Red Sun. With some pretty zany experiences.
You showed a little bit of that. That looked pretty good. I'd love to see some more like weird Elseworld spin-offs. I'd love to see Super Friends.
Yes.
Can you put Super Friends in there?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah. If you can get Detective Chimp approved to get in, I will be super friends.
You got, was it Batmite?
Yes,
Get
Batmite.
some weird stuff. What's the roster right now?
We are at 22 announced.
Nice. And when do we get our hands on this game? When does this come out?
April 16th.
Huh. And is there anything else that's coming out around the same time that you can't tell us more about, but that's also happening?
Yeah, sometime around launch, we are having the exclusive, developed by the NetherRealm team, iOS companion app.
Huh. And can you tell us anything more about that?
I really wish I could, but
Okay.
you should take some of the words I've said earlier and totally apply them to this.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, Adam, thank you so much for talking.
Thank you
Injustice
so much.
looks good. What's so unjust about these gods among us?
The story mode will totally tell you that.
Okay.
So play that, and which we can do right now.
Oh, well, good. Stay tuned, guys, for more of our GDC coverage. I'm Max Scoville. See you around.